Well, g'day everyone, and welcome to a very special video. I've poured you a little something here in your sediment bowl shot glass because today is a day that, well, it's worth having a toast because we are officially moved in to the new Landy Cave here. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this following video. What have we got coming your way and what has been happening here, because we've missed a couple of weeks here on YouTube. I'm very sorry to say that. I know it's caused a lot of anguish for many of you, and hopefully you haven't lost too much sleep, but never fear, Geoff is here once more. So as always, click on that subscribe button down below, give us a thumbs up because you know it's going to be a cracker of a video too, and we'll see you in the ensuing video. Well, I mean this, and this isn't to sound corny. It's actually nice to be sitting here recording a video, having a chat to you. I enjoy doing this, and so does Damon too. But it's been a crazy few months, and this is something that many of you will be able to relate to watching this video. You think when you're about to move house or office or your workshop, quote Jeremy Clarkson, how hard can it be? Well, a lot harder than we envisage. And I'm thankful for that because that means I'm an optimist. And there's always a good thing, well, it's always good to be an optimist because then there's always something to look forward to. But setting up this workshop here has been a big undertaking because it's not just setting up the workshop, it's doing everything else on top of that. Not saying I've hard done by or anything, certainly not, but running seriously series with Damon and then the geology consultancy company that I have too. It makes it a pretty big juggling act, so there's been some huge days in getting everything happening. My wife and I and our son Henry, we've moved house. We're still in Kalgoorlie here in Western Australia, but we've actually bought a place, and it's fantastic. As you can see, it's got a decent sized shed, which I'm very thankful for. Even though no shed's big enough, let's be honest. But it should do for the next few years. I've actually got a small office here too, which makes editing these videos and everything else a lot easier too. And I'm just really excited because it's not even about myself. I'm just excited because I can actually do a lot easier some of the videos that I've been wanting to do for you, because I've actually got a proper workbench now. That's right. It's no longer my first workbench 101, which is pretty much what I had in the other place. No joke, I know a lot of you think that shed was a lot bigger, but it wasn't. It was just a double car garage. But my workbench was about that long and about that wide. And I pretty much built this Land Rover off that, stripped the stage 1 down, and pretty much kept the series 2 and the Parenti running for quite a few years, just with that basic little workbench. So am I getting soft? Am I getting spoiled? Most definitely, and I'm loving it, because these two workbenches that I've brought here are just going to be fantastic. I've already got the LT95 gearbox on one of them out of the stage 1 that I'm really just chewing out the bit to actually just have a good old squiz, good old look inside it, see what's going on with it. If it all looks okay, give it a birthday, put it back together, replace probably the centre differential and the centre differential shaft and a few other bits. And then I've got a differential out of the front of the stage 1, which I did film pulling the diff apart, which we'll see how that goes, if that's going to be a good video or not. But I'm going to put hopefully an ARB air locker in it and put one in the rear too, because, you know, why not? And there isn't any videos that I know of out there on YouTube that actually show you how to do it. You know, really pull the diff apart, rebuild the diff and put the air locker in. There's probably a reason for that, because it's not exactly a 5-minute job and just sitting in front of the camera just waffling on. But anyway, we like a challenge here at Seriously Series. So that is going to be absolutely fantastic. I've got a lot more space to be able to actually film this kind of stuff, which is really going to be good too. The shed itself is a reasonably good size. I think it's about 12 metres long. It must be about 6 metres wide. So it's a reasonable size. But I'm hoping to build a lean-to on the side, or like a carport, a roof undercover area, and then hopefully in time put a 2-post hoist under there, which opens up a whole nother swathe of videos that can be done. I'm obviously sitting next to, I hate to say it, a Japanese motor here. This is the 4BD1 out of the Land Rover Series 3 Stage 1, and it's going to be great to actually finally sink my teeth into this. So there's a lot of potential coming your way, and you know, one of the things that I'm really big on, and Damon is too, is not just sitting here waffling on saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That doesn't really mean much unless you actually get out there and actually do it, and that's one of the things we pride ourselves in, is actually following through on things. And I guess just a bit of an update on Seriously Series at large, and just give me a chance just to have a my voice is going to be like velvet now. You know, we pride ourselves on seeing things through, and today, or in the next coming days, that's going to ring true. Road to Ruin, I've talked about it at great lengths. It's been an incredible ride. It's been a ride of incredible frustration. But the greater the frustration, the greater the sweeter the victory is. Because in life, we set out to do things. We set out to do something because we want something to be a particular way. But as many of you know who have a great deal of life experience, that's not how life works. It's very much a meandering stream, not just a straight old down the guts river channel. So we've meandered our way, and finally Road to Ruin is going to be released on Google Play, YouTube Movies. It's already on Apple TV, but it's going to be available in more places on Apple TV and Amazon. And you know, I'm not bragging, but it is the first film in that genre to be shown on all of those online streaming services. So it is a huge, massive achievement, and it is I could do many videos just talking about what it requires to do that, but it's not like YouTube, and I know some of you do YouTube videos and Instagram and Facebook where it's just upload, you wait for the bing or the ding, and then it's done. Hey, it's not that simple. It's a lot of work, and Damon's put a lot of work into it, and I've put a lot of work into it. So it's great that we've done that. It's great that we know what's entailed to do it, because that's going to be, and has been, the guinea pig or the test bed for future projects. And talking for future projects, I'm currently working through the final narration for our film Dust and Dreams that we did a couple of years ago now, going through Central Australia, driving from Uluru, Ayers Rock down to the Australian Bight on backtracks. And these films take quite a long time, and many of you will go, well, why does it take so long? Well, you know, Damon and I, as much as we want to do this as a full-time job, and it's slowly getting there, hopefully in time, it means that we've got to juggle everything else, like you do. So, you know, we've got young families, we've got you know, our day jobs to obviously take care of, and everything else that life throws at you too, and obviously keeping videos coming out on YouTube and the beast that is social media and media at large. So it means that things do take a bit longer than we would like, but we get there in the end. So we're hoping to have that done. I'm really keen to try and get it out later this year. We'll probably, you know, potentially release it in a few cinemas here in Australia, because that's always just good fun. It helps us with the costs of getting some of those costs actually back, because it does cost a lot. It's not running around the bush with an iPhone and a selfie stick. That really doesn't sort of cut it for what we're wanting to do. Not discouraging anyone from doing that. So that'll be really good to do that, and then we'll look at rolling that out on online streaming services after that. But talking of trips, I've literally just got back from Tasmania. We filmed our first, I guess, serious adventure for 2024 there, which we're calling Edge of the Earth Forgotten Tracks. And that was fantastic. A good friend of ours, Nathan, he came along and helped out with the driving and everything that happens on an adventure, and it was great. It was probably one of the best adventures we've had yet. Probably in terms that the fact that the weather was really, really good. It didn't rain. Everything kind of went according to plan as we envisaged. There was a few things that didn't work out, but you get that on the big jobs. And it meant that we could actually kind of relax, because there wasn't a punishing schedule, and we didn't have to, you know, rebuild a motor or, you know, do all the other crazy stuff that we usually do. So I guess from that point of view, it might be a bit of a tame watch. I don't know, but I think you'll still enjoy it too. And so for that, we actually went from the Styx Valley, or right in the middle of Tasmania, and went right down to the southernmost point, or southernmost town, Cockle Creek. So that was really good to do that. Damon's family is originally from Cockle Creek itself, so Damon knows a lot of spots down there that I've never ever been to or heard of before, so that was really, really good. We were able to do a bit of fossicking too, find some fossilised wood and agate and a few other bits, and tie that into an interesting story about Antarctica and Tasmania and how they're joined together. We found a lost settlement in the middle of the Styx Valley, which was quite cool. Mawson's settlement, and that was a fantastic spot to camp. Little wombats running around, and caves and sinkholes and all the rest, so lots of stuff to look at there. So that's quite interesting, and should be a really, really good watch. I've seen some of the footage that Damon took, and it's absolutely epic. And people use the term legend and epic pretty loosely these days, but we don't tend to, you know, lose our heads here too much. So it is epic. So that's happening. I did a podcast, the Four Wheel Drive podcast, with Ronnie Dahl and Liam Duggan, who supposedly plays football, but I know nothing about football, as I said to him, but I hear that you're a big deal. He quite liked that. Anyway, so that was an interesting experience. I did that in Perth, and I want to take the time to thank many of you who actually wrote in via social media asking questions. It was actually quite funny. I think there was one person, and sorry I'm not great with names, who asked about I think putting a 200 TDI into a series Land Rover, and I you know, immediately knew what you were asking about, but they had no idea. It was like talking Japanese to them, or a foreign language. So that was really quite cool, and I think they really enjoyed the experience. And it's the great thing about Land Rovers, and it's a great thing about this, not channel, but this community that is Seriously Series. You know, it's we're all, you know, interactive, we're all interested in what everyone's doing. So that was really cool. So thank you all very, very much for that. So I'm not sure when that will be out, but it will be out probably in the next couple of months or so. And then in April of this, was it April? Yes, it was April of this year, I went off and did some filming with Channel 7 with the 4-wheel drive adventure show. And that was an interesting experience. I took them across the goldfields from here in Kalgoorlie right over to Laverton, and sort of showed them the history of the area. And it's been an interesting experience chatting to the people involved with that. Just sort of highlighting to them, and we've been very open-minded in terms that it's about not just driving through the landscape, it's about just doing a little bit of research, a little bit of preparation, and it's amazing what you can actually find and do in order to enhance your trip. So I think for the most part they found it quite informative and quite useful. So the first episode of that came out last week on television here in Australia, on Channel 7, and can be viewed on Channel 7 Plus. And as of this weekend, there will be the second episode of that series too. So it should be, hopefully a good watch. And I think it's probably quite different to what they've done in the past. We've got some interesting prospects too. It's evaporating quickly. That's a problem with being out in the desert. Got some other interesting prospects coming your way too. For those of you who reside in Sydney, Adelaide and Perth, we've been very kindly asked to do a bush mechanic presentation and other presentations at the 4-wheel drive adventure shows. So Damon and I will hopefully be flying to Sydney. Damon will then fly into Adelaide, and at this stage, and it's all up in the air a little bit too, but why not let you guys and girls know first. Damon will fly into Adelaide. We'll hopefully drive the Series 3 here over to Adelaide, and then drive it back across the Nullarbor, which will be quite nostalgic for Damon and myself, because the last time we did that was actually driving over to here, Western Australia, in the Series 2. So that will be really good. I'm quite keen to do the Old Air Highway, and then there's a coach road that actually goes across the Nullarbor down to a place called Mandurah, where there's just a roadhouse these days. But I think that'd be quite a cool thing to do, particularly after the show, which is always good, the 4-wheel drive shows, but you know, it's a lot's going on, and it's nice just to sit still and just look at nothing basically and just reflect on oneself for a bit. You can't be go all the time. So that's pretty exciting, and it'll be an interesting experience as always with those shows. And we're quite hopeful with the other adventures that we've got planned for 2024. I'm hoping to head off and travel east of the Canning Stock route over towards the Peterman Range in August. We'll see how that goes. We are hoping to do New Zealand still next year, and then obviously the big one, which is the Canning Stock route. So we're currently looking at companies and sponsors and renewing sponsorship agreements and all the rest, because look, as much as some of you might turn your nose up at that, it's what helps a lot to pay the bills. That, and you subscribing to this channel, giving us a thumbs up, but particularly Patreon, is a huge help. And as for the trip in Tasmania, it was Patreon that paid for quite a bit of that, and also the work that I do for a number of magazines to writing and selling stories there also. So it all makes a big difference, and the more support we get, as I keep saying, the more videos we can bring your way. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here for now. We've got plenty coming your way. I'm back on deck. No more moving required here. just fixing Land Rovers and building Land Rovers and more. So we should have some great content coming your way, and as I've already said, click on that subscribe button. That way, you know, as the new videos come out, they'll pop up in your feed and you don't need to go trawling through YouTube and all the rest trying to find our videos. But anyway, check out Patreon too, and yeah, I'm going to start getting ready to get into this motor. So we'll catch you on the next one. See you then.